Hey everybody, we've all seen these yogis out there with legs made of rubber bands, bending in any which way with no regard. That's not me. My hamstrings are tight. It's something that I've always been a work in progress, which is okay. I found focusing on a few key areas of the legs can really help. And if you're like me, then this flow is your jam. We're going to start with a slow build-up, waking up the hamstrings, stretching the legs, culminating into a great deep hip opening. With elegant movements and long holds, this flow is a fantastic way to engage those muscles without killing yourself in the process. Now let's flow. Starting on your back here, giving Bear a little pet. Settling in, take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, sigh it out of your mouth, let it go. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on the belly, just feeling the breaths go in and out. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose as best you can. Starting to come into recline bound hand to foot, bring the right knee into the chest. Give it a little squeeze, and we'll start to rotate it in the hip socket clockwise, about 3 times. And then we'll start to rotate it counterclockwise, again just 3 times or so. Now we'll take your peace finger, bind the big toe, and extend the right leg up to the sky, placing the left hand on your hip to keep it down. You notice mine kind of bounced though, and that's okay too. Keeping that soft bend in the right knee. And as we just start to slowly stretch into the hamstrings. Just staying here just a few breaths. Slowly extend that right leg over to the right. Just a few breaths or so here. And you'll notice my right foot still stays up. Some people can take it to the ground and that's cool too, but it's okay if your right leg is up in the air. As you inhale, bring the right leg back up, bring the right knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze, and slowly extend it back to meet the left. And now we'll simply just go to the other side. As you bring the left knee into the chest, giving it a squeeze, and again starting to rotate it clockwise into the hip socket. Just about 3 times or so again. And we'll start to rotate it counterclockwise 3 times or so right here. Now you'll extend that left leg up, taking your peace fingers as you bind for the big toe, placing the right hand on your right hip, again just keeping the right hip down. Stretching into the left hamstring for just a few breaths. Now slowly bring the left leg over to the left. Again, you'll notice my left foot is in the air, and that's okay. Staying here for a few more rounds of breath. Inhale, bring the left foot up, slowly bring it back into the chest, and then lowering it down onto the mat, meeting the right leg. Happy baby pose, bring both knees in towards the chest, take the hands to the outside edges of the feet or ankles and bring the knees in towards the armpits. Swaying from side to side, just a massage into your lower back. Just nice and slow, a few breaths right here. Now bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze, and roll to either side. Giving Bear a little pet here. He loves that. Pushing yourself up with both hands and just making your way to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts up, cow pose. Exhale, round in cat, gaze towards your navel. Inhale, belly drops, gaze will lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, round in. Coming to that neutral table, curl your toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Step the right foot up in between the hands, placing the left knee and shin into the mat. Inhale, arms lift up, shine your heart to the sky. You can play with different arm and hand variations like I'm doing as you bring the palms together. Great for stretching the hamstrings, quads, and the groin. Staying here, another breath. Curl the toes, look mono, hands lift up to crescent pose. Bring the shoulder blades down your back, squeeze your left glute. Again, great for stretching into the quads here. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Strong T arms, pivot the ball of the back foot to about 90 degrees, gaze off your front middle finger. Again, this is fantastic for getting into the hips. Triangle pose, as you straighten the front right leg, extend the right arm out, slowly lower it down on the inside of the right foot. Extend the left arm up to the sky. Gaze can lift to the left fingertips. Lunging twist. Left hand will plant down, inhale, right arm up to the sky. Pivot on the ball of the back toes. This is great for strengthening your hamstrings here. Another breath or so. Lizard pose. Gaze down, place both forearms on the inside of the right foot. Bring the left knee and the pedicure side of the toes down into the mat. Now we'll stay here a little longer than the previous postures, just to really stretch into the hip. This is great again for opening up your hips and the hamstrings. You can also get a little deeper here if you want to roll on the pinky side edge of the right foot. Again, a few more breaths right here. Now we'll come into a quad stretch now. As you bend the right knee and kick yourself in the butt with the left foot, reaching back with the right hand to grab for the right foot. And then think of that right shoulder blade, bring it down your back, and gaze lifts. Slowly release your bind, half splits as you sink your butt back towards your left heel, straighten your front right leg, flex the right toes, and then fold over that right leg. Just stretching into the hamstrings once more. As you inhale, bend back into your front knee, plant your hands, plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale through up dog, lift the heart through the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we'll take it to the left side. Anjaneyasana, step the left foot up in between the hands, place the right knee and shin into the mat. Inhale, arms lift, shine your heart up to the sky. This is fantastic for releasing tension in your hips here. Curl your toes, look mono, hands, crescent pose. Squeeze your right glute here this time, square the hips, arms up to the sky. Great for stretching into the hip flexors. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Strong T arms, pivot the back foot to 90 degrees, gaze off your front middle finger. Again, this is great for the groin and opening up the shoulders. Triangle pose as you straighten the front left leg, reach the left arm, lower it down on the inside of the foot, and inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Gaze lifts towards the right fingers as long as it's comfortable in your neck. Great for opening up your hammies again. Lunging twist, right hand plants down, inhale, left arm lifts. Pivot the ball of the back toes. Perfect for strengthening your hip flexors right here. Staying here another breath or so. Gaze down, lizard pose, placing both forearms on the inside of the left foot. Bring the right knee and the pedicure side of the right toes into the mat. Good for opening up your hips again. And if you want to get a little deeper, you can roll on the pinky side edge of the foot. Again, just staying in this pose a little bit longer than the previous postures, just to really get into the hips. Now coming into that quad stretch again. Kick yourself in the butt with the right foot, reach back with the left hand to grab for the right foot. And then think like you have a flashlight now on your chest and really try to curl your heart up to the sky. A few more breaths right here. Release your bind, half split, sink your butt back towards your right heel, straighten the front left leg, flex the toes, and then slowly start to fold over that left leg, really stretching into the hamstrings once again. Inhale, bend back into your front leg. Come to plank, lower to chaturanga, hug the triceps into the ribs. Inhale through your up dog. Exhale, downward dog, hips high to the sky. Now just staying here in your downward facing dog just a little longer, just to really get a nice stretch into the whole body. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. And now we're going to come into one of my favorite poses to get a really deep stretch into the hips. Come onto your hands and knees. We're going to come to cow face pose. You're going to take the right knee up in between the hands and take the left knee behind the right. Taking the feet as wide as your mat, and then you'll slowly sink your butt in between the heels. You may notice my top knee might be up a little bit high, and that's okay. Everyone's hips are so different. You can sit up tall like I'm doing with my hands on the heels, or you can slowly walk the hands out and fold over your knees. Now just staying here for a few breaths just to really feel this stretch into the hips. Again, you may feel this later. Now to come on out, I like to bring the hands behind me, unwind my legs, and then do a few windshield wipers right and left just to loosen up my hips. Now I know that was fun, so let's do the other side. Now we'll do cow face pose on the left. Bring the left knee up in between the hands and the right knee behind your left. Taking the feet about as wide as your mat, you'll slowly sink your hips into between your heels. You can do a little bit of adjusting like I'm doing, and then sit up nice and tall. And just notice my left side is extremely tight, so my left knee is up pretty high. And for me, just sitting up nice and tall is fantastic. You might be a little bit more open, so you can always fold over the knees like we did on the right side. Just continue to breathe here. And to come out again, just bring your hands behind you and then start to windshield wiper the knees right and left. Again, just loosening up the hips and even your lower back. Coming onto your butt now, we'll come to a seated forward fold. Remove any flesh from your sitting bones, extend the legs out in front. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold over straightish legs. You can always have the knees slightly bent. And we're gonna stay here for about 5 breaths or so. This could help relieve a lot of anxiety and stretch, also while stretching into the hamstrings once again. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And we'll come to a seated wide-legged forward fold. Taking your legs out nice and wide, flex the toes. You can always remove any flesh from your sitting bones. Inhale, lift your arms up, leading with the heart as you exhale, fold in. This is a great stretch here just to loosen up your lower back. Staying here for a few more breaths. Inhale, sit up tall. And now we'll come to butterfly pose. So take the soles of the feet together, sit up tall, and again leading with the heart as you exhale, fold in. Taking the elbows out towards the knees, you can always bring the hands around the feet as well. This posture is really good for the hips and your inner thighs. Inhale, sit up tall, and we'll do a gentle twist. Place the left hand on your right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Ignoring my rounded back, you should be sitting up tall. Gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale to center, and we'll go to the other side. Placing the right hand on the left knee, left hand comes behind you, gazing off your left shoulder. These gentle twists are always great for digestion. As you inhale, come back through center, and we'll move into a reverse tabletop. You'll plant the hands behind you, fingers towards your heels. As you inhale, lift the hips up, and gently bring the head back. This is great for opening the upper body. Exhale, lower down nice and slow. Now lower all the way down onto your back. Softly bring your knees into the chest and extend the legs straight up to the sky. We're coming into candlestick posture. Keep the toes nice and flexed. It's always nice to come into an inversion to change the way the blood flows. And this pose can also help calm the nervous system and also provide some energy. But let's stay here for a few deep breaths. Exhale, slowly lower the legs down, coming into fish pose. Extend the legs out in front onto your mat, point the toes. Place the forearms onto the mat, puff the chest up and bring the crown of the head down. This is great for opening up your heart and your throat. Exhale, release, and we'll make our way to Shavasana. Take up space as you extend the legs out in front, arms at your sides, palms face up, close your eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out of your mouth. And just allow yourself to take rest. Start to reawaken your body, moving your toes and your fingers. Bring the legs together, extend the arms overhead, get a nice stretch. Bring your knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze and a hug. Rolling again onto either side in fetal posture. Then using your hands, making your way to a comfortable seated. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, lift your arms up. Softly bring the palms together. Exhale, hands come down in front of the heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Hamstrings stretched, hips open. Heaven. Namaste.